Bayside Diner in the hallway, Jennifer's writing down her schedule. Till she has the flashbacks of her and Julian making love. And as the flashback ends, why can't I stop thinking about this? And as Eddie came to where Jennifer is. Wow, it was really busy today. And as Jennifer saw him, yeah, just the way I like it. Meanwhile, in the front area, Katie came in and head to the bar stool area where Jan is, who saw her while she's counting her receipts. Katie, is it? Yeah, it looks like it was busy here. Indeed, we had a Japanese tour bus that stopped here an hour ago, so I had to call Emily and Kyle. Plus, Sheldon and I had to take over, but now it seems relatively calm. It's good money though. Oh, I know it. So, what can I get for you? 2 chicken salad platters. And as Katie got out her debit card and gave it to Jan, which she got, and as she went and placed the order on the lower POS. And in turn, slide Katie's debit card. And the receipt print out. And as Jan came back to where Katie is, and laid her debit card before her along with her receipt. And as Katie begins signing it. Meanwhile, let's get to Emily, who went to Jesse's booth with the coffee pot. Can I top you off? Sure. Actually, I need to talk to you. And as Jesse noticed, Kyle is cleaning in his section, while Emily is pouring Jesse another cup of coffee. Sure. And as she finished and went and sat at his booth. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles International Hospital in Andrew's room, Andrew's by his dad's bedside, while Andrew is still in a coma. And as Patrick came in and closed the door and went to where Joseph and Andrew is, and Joseph saw him. Dude, you look like you haven't slept in days. Let Olivia and I take over so you can get some rest. Hold on. Did you say? Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. Olivia and I are back together. Meanwhile, at the Good Charm Rich Manor in Richard's room, Casey and Richard are making out in bed. Till they pull back. Didn't I mention how sexy it was to have a man like you protecting me and all? Well, remind me more, and I'll do it. By the way, you okay? You seem quiet on the way here. And as Richard has the flashbacks of him and Frank talking. You really think I'm scared of you? Honestly, you should be. All you do is destroy lives for the sake. If you only knew what I have in store, then you should know there may be a surprise waiting for you. And as the flashback ends, I had a lot to think about. I mean, the nerve of Vanessa accusing us when we had nothing to do with Frank's death. Meanwhile, at the President Rich Manor in the living room, Paul came in and headed to the table and began pouring himself a cup of brandy. Just as Chad came in and Paul saw, and as he poured another one, just in time for Chad to arrive, and Paul gave it to him, which he got. I think we should confront them. They'll just lie about it, especially Casey's family. Vanessa already had a run at them. How did they react? They were kinda annoyed. Sounds a bit suspicious if you ask me. Oh, I know. Which is why I'm planning to enter myself into their lives. Meanwhile, on the Los Angeles pier, Leo's waiting. Till Janet came to where he is. And Leo saw her. Who the hell are you? I could ask you the same thing. Now, relax, you two. And as Linda came to where they are, and Leo and Janet saw her. I gotta say, best work to the process you two have made. Now, for the next task. Meanwhile, outside the LAPD station in downtown Los Angeles in the parking lot, and Mildred Willie Jordan's car, Mildred Willie Jordan and Karen Lee Susan are talking while they're sitting in the car. Those two have no idea to what hell awaits them. Once Karen, Taya, and Mildred are taken care of, I'm going after Bradley. In fact, I may have the perfect person. Speaking of which, I need to handle Joseph before he ruins everything, and I'm gonna need Janet's help on that. Meanwhile, in a holding cell, Taya, the Will, Karen, and Mildred are sitting on the bench. This is ridiculous. Really? Impersonation? Seems our counterparts are more smarter than we give them credit for. That is why we end this matter once we get out of here. Yeah, about that, and as Claire came to where they are. I'm afraid that's not gonna happen, and as she arrived, and Taya, Karen, and Mildred saw her. And as Taya got up, "Come on, Claire," and as Taya came to where Claire is. "Surely you don't see these two are imposters, or do you?" Meanwhile, at the Bayside Diner in the hallway, Jennifer and Eddie are talking. "You know, for what it's worth, you're not a bad person at all." "Same here." "Then we're both on the same page." "How about you get to know me a little bit more?" "You mean you and I go on a date together?" "Well, I feel you told me what happened in your family, so I think it's fair that I told you that." "So I see." And as Katie went towards the back, walking past Jennifer and Eddie who were talking. "So it's a yes, as in tomorrow night? Our first date, right?" And as Katie heard the conversation and is uneasy, to Jan came to where Katie is, who saw her. "Katie, what are you doing back here?" Meanwhile, in the front area in Jesse's booth, Emily and Jesse are talking. "What do you want to talk about?" "Your husband." "Kyle? What about him?" "Just be careful of him, okay?" "Jesse, what's going on? Lately, you and Lauren been trying to talk negative about my husband, when in fact he's a very good person." "I know he is, Emily, but lately, he's been kind of different." "Can you blame him? I mean, really, your wife accused him of cheating on me when we both know that's not the case." "All I'm saying is, just to be careful, that's all." "You're talking about the man I love very much, who happens to be the father of both my son and daughter." "Okay, I'm sorry. Look, I didn't mean to upset you by prying. Perhaps you should fix your own marriage before criticizing somebody else's." Meanwhile, Kyle overheard the conversation, and as he finished cleaning his section, just as Jared came to where Kyle is, and Kyle saw him. "Kyle, I didn't know you worked here." "Yeah, extra money. Emily and I want to help out best way we can, so how's things going between you and Allison?" "Allison and I are planning to stay here until after John's will has been read." Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles International Hospital in Andrew's room, Andrew's lying in a coma while Joseph and Patrick are talking. "You and Olivia? Congrats, man. I mean, I really hope it works out between you two." "Yeah, given to the fact that Carl's gonna be in our lives forever, since she and her ex-husband share a son together. And you're okay with that." "I'm gonna have to be okay. Besides, I love Olivia too much to give her up now." Janet came by today. "Really? What did she want?" "She wanted to be there for me, but too much has already happened. I just can't trust her after what she's done to my family." "You think she was working for the Collins?" "I wouldn't be surprised if she was working for them." Meanwhile, at the Good Charm Rich Manor in Richard's room, Casey and Richard are in bed talking. "One thing's for certain, I'm not gonna let her come between us." And she's not. And as Casey's iPhone beeps, and as Casey got up and went and got the iPhone and checked the message, and as Richard sent something wrong with Casey. "What's wrong?" And as Casey looked up and faced her husband. "It's a text from my mom saying that we need to be prepared just in case the police ask questions." "Well, we have nothing to worry about. Besides, we have nothing to do with." And as Casey went back and sat in the bed next to her husband. "Only we're the only ones who know that's not true. And it has to stay like that. Anyways, I got a surprise for you." "Really? And what would that be?" "How do you feel about a second honeymoon? Just the two of us. I can have your mother watch our daughter while we go. Sounds like you got this whole thing planned out. I do. So what do you say? You want to go on holiday and get away from this town for a while? Meanwhile, at the Preston Ridge Manor in the living room, Paul and Chad are talking. Won't they get suspicious as to why you're hanging out with them? Of course not. Besides, they don't really know who I am. You know, that could actually work if you play your cards right. Oh, I intend to. Intend to what? And as Stephanie came in and head to the table and began pouring herself a cup of brandy, which Chad and Paul saw. I'm going to invert myself into their lives so I can find out who killed my parents and make them pay. And as Stephanie finished and went to where Chad and Paul is. And who are you going to invert? Well, it seems John died. That puts most of his children on my list, like Isabella, Adam, Ryan, or maybe even Chris for the matter. What about Julie and Jack? They weren't here at the time, which leave a lot of people, as said, on the list. Well, if you ask me, I say Isabella is high on the suspect list. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles Pier, Linda, Janet, and Leo are talking. What's that? You remember the last conversation we had about you getting back together with Joseph, right? Yeah, of course I do. How's that status doing? Not good. He told me he wants nothing to do with me. You need to find a way to get back in his good grace. It's not gonna be easy. He told me to stay away from his family. Look, he's just lashing out, trust me. He needs you more than you know. Wrong. In fact, he's threatening to file a restraining order against me if I don't stay away from his family. What do you want me to do? Do what you have to do to take care of Joseph. Second thought, Janet, never mind. I have another job for you. And what would that be? I want you to come between Stephanie and Paul. Why would I do that? Since Paul, you know what? Come to think about it, what the hell was I thinking? Never mind. I want you to come between Tamara and Kevin instead. Meanwhile, outside the LAPD station in downtown Los Angeles in the parking lot in Mildred Willie Jordan's car, Mildred Willie Jordan and Karen Lusus are talking. You may need a backup plan. I just saw Janet and Joseph talk, and I think they're broken up. Damn it! I have come too far to let my plan end in vain. Oh, it won't. Joseph will be dealt with soon, I assure you. As we speak, Linda is filling in on the recruitment. It is so good to have a backup plan. And it's also good to know that Karen and Mildred can't use their own resources to get them out. I like that a lot. Meanwhile, in the inside, in the holding cell area, Taya, the Will, Karen, and Mildred and Claire are talking. And as Karen and Mildred got up, don't be that, Taya. Of course she knows it's us. And as Karen and Mildred went to where Taya is, and as they all facing Claire, what's happening to us is ridiculous. All I know is, two people that look like you are filing charges for impersonation. How can that be when we're the real ones? By the way, what exactly did these two people say? You know I'm not at liberty to say that right now. Of course not. And you, Taya, this does not make it good for you, seeing that you're still being charged for the attempted murder. She didn't try to kill Vanessa. I'm sorry, but the evidence says otherwise. Claire, I am telling you, the three of us has been set up. Oh yeah? By who? Why, the Collins, of course. That's really gonna be impossible, seeing that Frank and Mimi has just been murdered. You lot wouldn't know anything about that, now would you? What about Linda and Wayne? For all we know, you know what? I'm not worried about them. We're talking about me and Frank, who are the ones who's been murdered. Now be the time to confess if you had anything to do with this. Meanwhile, at the Bayside Diner in the hallway, Jennifer and Eddie are talking. You know what? Why not? Seriously? Yeah. I think it's time I take a chance, and who knows? Maybe you and I might work out. Oh, I know it will, so what about after work? Sounds like a plan to me. Well, okay. Look, I just got a few tables left and I'll be ready when I get out. Eddie, for what it's worth, you are the best person I've ever met. Same goes for you. And as Eddie turned and walked away, while Jennifer turns back to the schedule and finished writing it. And as she thinking, finally, I could really use a distraction to get me mind off Julian, and Eddie could be the perfect person to do that. Meanwhile, let's get to Katie and Jan, who are not far away talking. I was looking for the women's restroom and I guess I kinda got lost. Really, Katie? You know the bathrooms ain't this way, but more importantly, this area's out of bounds to you. It's for employees only. I'm sorry. It's fine. We've been busy lately, which got me on edge, but more importantly, we don't let customers come back here because it can be very confusing and chaotic. I understand. Let me lead you back to the front. And as Jan led Katie back to the front, walking past Jennifer. Meanwhile, in the front area in Jesse's booth, Emily and Jesse are talking. I completely understand. Look, I'm sorry for having to go at you. It's just, I got a lot on my mind lately, I understand. John's death has really taken a toll on everyone. The thing is, I'm choosing to trust my husband despite him going on business trips, which I'm certain it's about the company. Of course. Look, I gotta go. And as Jesse took out his wallet and left a $100 bill for all your troubles. Just do me a solid and tell your wife to let it go and please focus on your own marriage. I will. Take care. And as Jesse got up and turned and walked away while Emily got the $100 bill Jesse left. Just as Jared and Kyle came to where she is and she saw them, I couldn't overhelp but hear the conversation. When Lauren and Jesse's gonna back the hell up our lives? Why they're interfering anyway? I'm guessing they need sort of distraction. Not to worry. I told them to back off and focus on their own marriage. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles International Hospital in Andrew's room, Andrew's lying in a coma while Joseph and Patrick are talking. Did you see the news of what happened? You mean Frank and Mimi being murdered? Honestly, I gotta say I'm glad those sons of bitches got exactly what they deserve. I agree, man. I can't believe I'm related to them at all. Aren't there your grandparents on your father's side? Yeah. So did you ask your mom about? Yeah, I did. And she was very defensive about it. I just don't get it. But then again, that's the reason to why she was trying to get rid of you and all. I don't know, but I intend to find out. Speaking of which, I really don't know where my mother is. I tried calling and texting her. She's been MIA since we had that argument. Yeah, that is strange. You would think she'll be by her husband's side. You know, mate, from this point on, I'm gonna be watching her like a hawk. Meanwhile, at the Good John Rich Matter in Richard's room, Casey and Richard are in bed talking. Where are you taking us? How about Sydney? Australia? Really? Yeah, I think it's the perfect time for us to go. Now that you think it, it is. Plus, I got us tickets to the opera house there, and also, I got another surprise that's waiting for us. Is the private jet ready? You wanna leave now? No, I wanna leave yesterday. Of course I wanna leave now. I'll call me mom and she can watch our daughter while we're gone. Okay, before we go, why don't I give you a little preview of what's to come? Preview? Yeah, and as Richard got his iPhone out and Bluetooth some new sister right now. What do you think? Sounds like you and I got the very same thing on our mind. And as they begin making out, and as Richard took off his shirt, and Casey did the same thing,
Rosalie and Richard getting on top of Casey, and as he began to make sweet love towards his wife. Meanwhile, at the Preston Rich Manor in the living room, Stephanie, Paul, and Chad are talking. Speaking of Isabella, doesn't she work at the diner? Yeah, I believe she does. Perhaps she could start by working there. He could. Only thing is, Jan and Sheldon pretty much own the diner, and last I checked, I don't think they're very keen on our family working there. I don't give a damn what they think. I'm gonna work there regardless. I'll find a way. Now, about Adam. I believe he works at the hospital, which means there's no trouble. You didn't hear the news? What news? Adam left town a few days ago. Really? Kinda convenient. In fact, I may just be friends with his wife Rita. No, Paul. That would make it too suspicious, trust me. I have my ways of getting what I want. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles Pier, Linda, Janet, and Leo are talking. Kevin and Tamara? Are you serious? They're boring as a cereal bowl, which will make your job even easier. Therefore, you better not fail me. Very well. Leo will take you there, and then he can do his thing. Report to me on the status. And as Leo and Janet turn and walk away, and as Linda got her iPhone out, and as she thinking, now then to other matters. Cassie, you really think you can play Frank and me like a fool? Too bad I'm not gonna let you get away with it. Besides, we have more players. Some of those fools don't even know. But it's fun to watch, especially when the Collins is about to reign supreme. Meanwhile, outside the LAPD station in downtown Los Angeles in the parking lot in Mildred's Willie Jordan's car, Mildred's Willie Jordan and Karen's Willie Susan are talking. Now, to deal with that nosy friend of mine. She's been tried for attempted murder. We need to push up her trial date. How are we gonna do that? You know, I think it's high time we put our new money to use and wiping out those fools. I couldn't agree more. Then we can concentrate on bigger matters. Let's just deal with Taya first, so our counterparts stay exactly where they are. What about your children? I'm not too at all worried about them. They have no idea of who I am, and it's gonna stay like that. Besides, I don't need my fake family trying to interfere. What about those two other clones? Well, nobody has any idea to who they are. Meanwhile, inside in the holding cell, Taya, the real Karen, and Mildred and Claire are talking. Claire, we have been in the dark all this time. Yeah, we don't know what's going on. That may be, but I'm not too certain about most of your family, seeing they're high on the suspect list and all. What about our situation? There will be arraignment tomorrow. What? You heard me. It's past 4, meaning there won't be no arraignment till tomorrow. Really? You don't know who we are? Yeah, I know exactly who you lot are. People whose posted individual is gonna be sitting tight because it's gonna be a long night. Please excuse me. And it's Claire turn and walk away. Unbelievable. Something doesn't seem right about this at all. You know what? You may be right on that. Meanwhile, Claire came into the storage room, and as she closed the door and head to the corner area where the mirror is, and as she thinking, those fools have no idea of what's to come. And as she began to pull off her disguise, revealing to be Haley McLaughlin.